Your skin can raise millions of tiny hairs before you even know you are scared. That stupid little shiver is not random. And the real reason is stranger than cold skin or creepy music. Buried under each bump is a microscopic muscle from an older version of you. It still thinks you might need to look bigger before something eats you. And yes, you have about 5 million hair follicles on your body. Remember that number. Because goosebumps are not one thing happening to your skin. They are millions of tiny emergency levers being pulled at once. You probably learned the simple answer already. You get cold, your hairs stand up, and that traps warmth. Like a fuzzy jacket lifting its fibers. That sounds neat. Here's the problem with that. You are terrible at being furry. Your arm hair is not a winter coat. If you stood naked in the cold, goosebumps would not save you. They are like opening a broken umbrella in a hurricane. So why does your body bother? Why spend energy making bumps that barely warm you? And why does the exact same thing happen during horror movies, national anthems, or one perfect note in a song? That is the first weird clue. Goosebumps are called piloerection. That means hair standing up. Under many of your hair follicles sits a tiny, smooth muscle. It is called the arrector pili muscle. When that muscle contracts, it tugs the hair upright. Your skin dimples around it. A small hill rises. That is the bump. You cannot flex these muscles on command. You cannot decide to goosebump one arm like a bicep. They belong to your autonomic nervous system. That is the part of you that runs without asking. It controls sweating. It controls pupil size. It helps control heart rate. And when it wants, it can turn your skin into a field of tiny warning flags. Wait, it gets older. Because this reflex did not evolve for your smooth little forearm. It evolved for bodies covered in fur. On a furry animal, raised hairs actually do something. In the cold, lifted fur traps a layer of air. Air is a great insulator when it stays still. That is basically how a down jacket works. Tiny spaces hold warm air near the body. But cold is only half the story. The other half has claws. When a cat sees a threat, its fur stands up. When a frightened chimp or dog bristles, it looks larger. It is a biological jump scare costume. Your ancestors carried that same trick. A raised coat could make a small animal look bigger. It could make hesitation appear in a predator. Sometimes 1 second of hesitation is survival. Now flip the perspective. Your goosebumps are not your body failing. They are your body performing a reflex from an animal you used to be. You lost most of the fur, but kept the switch. That is why the cold explanation is only the surface. Cold can trigger it. Fear can trigger it. But both are using the same control system, your sympathetic nervous system. This is the famous fight or flight system. It floods your body with readiness. Your heart speeds up, your blood vessels tighten in some places, your sweat glands wake up, and your tiny hair muscles contract. Picture a giant red button in your body. Cold slams it. Danger slams it. A sudden sound in a dark hallway slams it. Your skin does not care which finger pressed the button. But here's the part that makes goosebumps feel haunted. Sometimes nothing is threatening you. You are sitting safely with headphones on. Then a singer hits one note. Your arms erupt like you saw a ghost. Why would beauty use the same button as fear? Why would a song borrow your predator alarm? Scientists still argue about the details. But the leading idea is almost creepier than the myth. Your brain is a prediction machine. It is always guessing what happens next. Music plays with those guesses. It delays a chord. It builds tension. It gives you the drop one breath later than expected. When the payoff finally arrives, your brain reacts physically. The reward system can release dopamine during musical chills. Research has shown dopamine activity can rise around those peak emotional moments. Your body treats the sound like an event, not just pleasant, important, a pattern resolved, a social signal felt, a safe version of danger. Your skin becomes the receipt. That is why goosebumps often come with tears, or a lump in your throat, or the feeling that something huge just passed through the room. Your body is saying, "This matters," before language can explain why. Remember the 5 million follicles? They are not just decoration. Each one is part of a tiny living unit. A follicle grows hair, talks to nerves, and sits near blood vessels and immune cells. Your skin is not wrapping paper. It is an organ listening to the world. And this is where it gets even stranger. The little muscle that makes goosebumps is not only a useless leftover. In mouse studies, researchers found that the sympathetic nerve, the arrector pili muscle, and hair follicle stem cells form a connected system. Long cold exposure can help activate signals involved in hair growth. So the same machinery that raises fur may also help maintain it. The muscle is like a tent pole. The nerve is like the wire. The follicle is the factory underneath. Do not take that as a magic cure for baldness. Human hair loss is more complicated. But it means goosebumps are not just dead evolutionary junk. They are leftovers, still wired into living skin. Now the full answer lands. You get goosebumps because your sympathetic nervous system contracts tiny muscles attached to your hair follicles. That reflex once helped furry ancestors trap heat and look bigger when threatened. Today, you still trigger the same ancient switch during cold, fear, awe, and music. Your body uses old survival hardware to mark a moment as urgent, powerful, or biologically meaningful. So goosebumps are not really about bumps. They are about importance. Your skin raises its hairs when your nervous system believes something deserves your whole body. Cold deserves it. Danger deserves it. Sometimes a song deserves it too. But here's the part nobody talks about. Goosebumps prove your body can know before you know. A shadow moves. A tone changes. A face in a crowd feels wrong. Your skin may react before your conscious mind finishes the sentence. That is not magic. It is fast processing. Your brain has older routes for threat and emotion. They are not polite. They do not wait for your opinion. You call it a vibe. Your nervous system calls it data. A smell, a silence, a posture, a memory fragment. Something matches a pattern. Then your skin answers. This is why fear goosebumps feel so intimate. They happen on the border between the outside world and you. The room changes, and your skin becomes the first witness. You are not just observing the world, you are being touched by it. And emotional goosebumps reveal something just as strange. Your brain can treat fiction like reality. A movie monster cannot hurt you. A sad song is only pressure waves. A story is only words. Yet your body reacts as if something real entered the room. Because to your nervous system, meaning is real. Anticipation is real. Loss is real. The memory awakened by a melody is real enough to raise your skin. That tiny bump is a fossil and a confession. It says you are a modern animal carrying ancient switches. It says your body still prepares for cold nights, watching eyes, and teeth beyond the firelight. It says beauty and terror live closer together than you want. Next time your arms prickle for no reason, do not brush it off too quickly. Some old part of you just stood up, and that connects to something even stranger. Why does your stomach drop when you look over an edge, even when you know you are safe? If this scratched the right part of your brain, subscribe to Mind Itch. A new question every single day.